Hi, my name is Sampagan. I'm a CG artist for Nickelodeon, and lately I've had conversations with people that are interested in getting the industry. And today I have with me the amazing Paulina Treviño. Hi, Paulina.
Hey, hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Of course, of course. And for the audience, if you're asking like, what are we doing today? We're gonna ask. I'm gonna be asked questions from Paulina of how to get into the industry. So it will be more of a tips and tricks of how to get there. What perspective should you have? And also at the end of this podcast, we're gonna see her work. She does 3D modeling. And we're gonna see her work. Let's see how can we make her portfolio look better, or what strengths does she have, what things can she do better, and we'll have a fun time. So now
Awesome.
that after yes, now that I've introduced myself, Paulina, I would love to know about you. Like, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. Here we go again. My name is Paulina Treviño. If it's easier for you guys, Paulina, you can call me that as well. I am an aspiring 3D modeler trying to get into the animation entertainment industry. That's always been my dream, and I would love to be a part of a creative environment and would like work together with other people to like create amazing projects. So, yeah, I am originally from Monterrey, Mexico, and I am right now in Austin, Texas. So, yeah,
So, okay, so you have some questions for me. What would be like the first question you like to ask me?
yes. Okay, so I would just love to know what is it like working at Nickelodeon. I'm assuming it's such an amazing like environment to work at and like the people that work there as well. But I would just love to know from your perspective, like what is it like working there? How is everything? Even the bad things. I want to know.
Ooh, all right, all right, all right. So, for sure, I can definitely answer that question. It's definitely an eye-opening experience, like what you imagine versus how it is, and I mean it in a very positive way. So, I come from Puerto Rico, where we have our own economics, like economic problems, and in terms of like how safe how safe you feel about getting a job, or how much you're getting paid. And of course, like getting into in an industry of art, the first thing, if you come from Puerto Rico, it's like, okay, I will definitely aim for something that there's no guarantee I will get a job, and and I hope to survive because I love this. So coming from that perspective and getting like my first experience in Puerto Rico in a small animation company, um, and then jump into Nickelodeon is definitely an enormous change of like environment, of like obviously like economic. There's a whole difference there, and definitely I can see, like, you notice how well developed is the teamwork at Nickelodeon. So for example, like in Nickelodeon, obviously they have around more than 30 years of like industry experience, industry culture, and have gone through like trials and errors, like what would be like the best, how can we create the best product with the best people, and like how does recruitment looks like, or how does a good healthy environment looks like, and then been through that through decades. And now that I'm coming to Nickelodeon at 2021, I can appreciate those things. Like definitely, there's a lot of positivity. There's definitely no, like, I don't feel, ever since I've been there, I thought I would be judged. I thought I was like, oh my god, I'm getting to a big league. So maybe they're expecting me like to know everything, be a guru, almost floating in the air, because like I was hired by them, and I'm like So definitely, I they try their best to make you feel really comfortable with the skills that you have right now, and what they're really focused on is your potential. So I had, like, for the first few months I had a lot of imposter syndrome. Like I would see myself like, oh my god, I'm so slow. Like look at this, look at my mentor, like he has 20 years of experience, and he makes his task like super fast, and I'm not fast, and I would compare myself to him a lot. And just to give you a glimpse of how like Nickelodeon is, like he would do the greatest effort, the greatest effort to be like, it's okay, Sam. Like he would celebrate every little thing that I would do. Like, hey, you did this, like, and he would celebrate it like exaggeratedly. I'm like, don't exaggerate. Come on, like these are not like industry standards. You know that I'm still learning. Why do you celebrate this? But he was very positive, my mentor, and everyone around my team was always like that. They were like, "Oh, like Sam, you're amazing," and I'm like, "Why are you saying this? Like, I'm just new. Why? You don't know me. I come from Puerto. you don't. What? Why are you treating me like this?" So it's definitely, yeah, exactly. So there's definitely a very, they're very understanding people. They know, they always say this. I don't know why they say this. They say, "Oh, you're here for a reason." And I know it sounds like very cliche, but they say it all the time. And what they mean by that is like, if you got into this point, it's because you have passed through like a lot of obstacles, a lot of a lot of barriers, including like interviews, including like demo reels, and you had to be tested for us to like get you be the one that we selected. So like, don't underestimate yourself. Like, you're here for a reason, you're here for a reason, and you hear it all the time in Nickelodeon. And I didn't get it until now, but if I want to answer like your question, it's definitely a very progressive mindset. It's a really like uh, everyone help each other out so that they can do the best task, because we all want to have fun. That subject of fun is very encouraged in Nickelodeon, because this can be like this is animation, but this is work, and you forget a lot of times like this is a fun that you should have fun, and they always remind me, and I love that from them. So that's how I would answer your question. Like, that's how it looks like. That's the reality of it. That's what I've experienced so far, and I love it.
That's awesome. That is amazing. Like that I feel is like how everyone would want to work, like with like the people, motivating you and like being positive around you. I feel like that is like one of the best qualities, because I feel like that environment just like makes you like work better and like get better and like even like try and keep motivated and like get better at things. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Oh my god, it was so funny because like one of the things that you mentioned about being slow, that was literally one of the questions I have for you, because like
Oh, really?
yeah, that is literally one of the questions I had, because I know that working at a studio like must be like like super hectic and like very aggressive deadlines and things like that. So like for
Mm-hmm.
sure, since I know that that's how it is, I want to improve how fast I work on my own projects, because I feel like sometimes with like personal projects, like you take your time and like you want everything to be perfect and you take longer than you should, to be honest. So like my question is like I don't know, like what is, I guess, the time frame that you guys are giving. I know every task is different and would take different times, but like I don't know, like how long would it take to like finish and like submit this specific task?
Right, right. That's a really good question. Um, Obviously, it all depends on the task, and it all depends on who they're assigning that task to. So, for example, they know I'm new, so they won't give me a deadline that I will die. Like, they're very caring in that part, that they're like, if you need like 2 weeks to finish this, like, you can do this under our wing, because we can, and we expect you to be learning, instead of like we're gonna like get a whip and like, oh my god, you didn't finish this deadline. No, they're really caring in that part. They're like, we just want you to like build the fundamentals, so that in the future, you'll eventually get fast, that's for sure. And so so yeah, I think sometimes my tasks are like 2 weeks, a week and a half. Um, because they know like with my current skill, that's what I can deliver. And now that we're talking about fast and slow and stuff, I wanna add something to your question, which
Yeah.
is yeah, I have my mentor, like I said, is really fast. He can do like 6 tasks in one day, and I can barely do like one or something. Like, and we're talking about like really complicated tasks. We're not talking like simple stuff. And I'll be always amazed at how he would work in our show, and sometimes with other shows at Nickelodeon. Like, he's insane. He's insane. So I asked him like, how, like, it's not possible that you're moving the mouse faster than I am. It's not that you're typing faster than I am. It's how is it, like, how do you like get so much work done? And he made it clear that the way I organize myself has a lot to do with how fast I do tasks. So, for example, my issue was that I had to be in meetings. I had to do emails. I had to do like the task that I was given. I had to like, I don't know, more meetings and more like stuff in the day. And I was like, how do I do all of this, and like, and still keep up? And I remember he was like, this is what you're gonna do, Sam. Instead of like doing the high priority like task like at the beginning of the day,
Hmm.
organize your task from easy to most difficult ones. So, for example, like you get at 9 a.m. to work, and you can set yourself like, okay, so I'm gonna set you make a list. Which, by the way, I've never done. I'm not a list person, and that was like, oh, I gotta do a list. Okay, fine. Let's see how if this works, because if it works for him, maybe it works for me. So I would make a list, and like I would put like, okay, like email this person, like make sure to talk to this other person about this. Request, I don't know, like this to human resources or something, like things that I need to do that are like compared to like 3D modeling or lighting or whatever, they're easy, you know.
Hmm.
So I would do that at the beginning, and what would happen is that maybe like 2 hours later, I would be done with all the tasks except like modeling, and
Hmm.
like that difficult one, or like texturing, right? So now, from your perspective, you're motivated because basically you have created a momentum where like, oh my god, I'm being productive. Oh, I feel productive. Like I've done like 5 tasks. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm checking the list. I'm checking the list. I'm checking the list, and then I would do modeling. And at the end of the day, I felt satisfied. I felt faster, and I wasn't like disappointing anyone, because like that was my biggest issue. Like if I did modeling first, I would take like all day, and then realize, oh my god, I didn't email this person. Oh my gosh, I didn't tell this other person. Oh my god, this person like wrote to me and I didn't even respond. How, what? And then like it would be like 5 o'clock. I only have 1 hour left, and I would do all of that. I would end up stressful, and then like resenting, like, oh my god, everyone's gonna be so disappointed on me. So that right there explains speed in the industry. Like how you organize yourself determines your speed. So one takeaway that you can have here is that if you want to be faster, organize your task from easy to hardest, and you'll see a difference in speed.
Okay, okay, that is like awesome because sometimes I'm like, oh my god, like I'm taking like so long on things, like, and like if I were to like, like finally get like a position or like a job like in a studio or anything like that, like I'm gonna die, or like I'm gonna get fired immediately, like those are my kind of thoughts, which is why um I've like I've tried so hard to like get better at things and like get faster and at doing things. um so okay, no, that is good. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Of
Yeah.
course.
No, like something that I've noticed, for sure, it's that like practice is literally the key. because when I first started working on things, it would literally like take me like super 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 long to like finish them. But like once you keep doing like the same thing over and over and over again, you already know what to do. Even if you're not looking at the keyboard, like you already know. So like that for sure has helped
Mm.
me just keep on practicing and getting better. So yes.
So you commented something about um, when you practice, you get faster, right? Um, you should always be aware that tasks that are repetitive, you will do them faster, and that tasks that are meant to figure the problem out, it's gonna take way longer, and that will never
Got it.
ever change. Like
Mhm.
that will never ever change. Like for example, like um, every repetitive work, like you don't have to figure out, oh my god, I how do I import this 3D object to Substance. Like you maybe like had to learn it once or twice, and after that, that's something super fast. But if you want to figure out like how you're gonna design a character, oh my god, like you can have like a whole week and of like researching and like and writing like how you like to like the backstory of that character and whatnot, and yet have no 3D object output on your hands. So that's something that a friend of mine also asked me, like, oh my god, like figuring things out takes me a lot of time, and I'm like, yep, that will never ever change. And companies that have like really good mentality, they know that. Like companies that have a healthy mentality about like research and stuff, they know that it will take you time to like build a new process of something or figure something out. So don't ever like feel slow if the task that you're doing is not repetitive. It's the first time you've ever tackled that kind of situation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's. Yeah. You're totally right. Because I've felt that, or because like for me, I'm trying to like focus a little bit more on like character modeling, and even though like the first stages of the process is like repetitive, like oh, like I already know how to do the blocking and things like that. Um, when it comes to like actually figuring out from concept to like 3D, you have to do so much figuring out, because of course you only get, I mean, if you're lucky, you're gonna get like other views of the concept, but like most of the time it's only one view. So like you do
Mm-hmm.
have to figure things out in order to like make it 3D. So like yeah, you're totally right. It does. I guess it always depends on the project or the task or um so yeah. Yeah, totally right. So especially when it comes to like a resume and cover letter, like you don't have that like face to face interaction like you and I are having right now. So like how do
Right.
you like, and like that's probably one of the, sometimes one of the first things that they see even before looking at your portfolio. I know a lot of people look at the portfolio first, but like when it's not, how do you make sure that like you stand out in the resume and cover letter? Like what are some of the things that I should like think about in order to be successful in applications?
Right. Um, I can tell you how I do it. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how like other people do it, but I can tell you how I look at it and how I've approached it before and how I keep approaching it. So whenever I'm gonna write about myself or whenever I'm gonna do like a cover letter, right? Um, I look at it from a fun perspective because we're going for a fun environment. So imagine like you present yourself in writing where you can feel energy just by reading um, your cover letter, like how you see the world. Like I see it more, for me, I see it more in an adventurous way. So I like to use adjectives that describe like colors or like a feeling, a specific feeling or something. And if I'm gonna say something about Puerto Rico, like I can use words like tropical or something related to heat or like flavor or like something like related to the beach or something. So that I can give imagery to the person that I'm talking to, and it can be very subtle. Like we're not gonna talk about Puerto Rico, right? But I'm gonna give an intro that you're like, huh, like it doesn't sound robotic. It doesn't sound like everyone else. It sounds like authentic. Like this person put thought into it, and I like it. So like, let's keep reading, and and that's how I approach it. That's what it has worked for me. Obviously, I haven't had 100% acceptance rate in all the companies, only Nickelodeon right now. But that's how it worked for me for Nickelodeon, specifically for the Nick Artist program. For the Nick Artist program, it's very important that your background, because they are aiming for underrepresented people. So it's very important that you show that and you're authentic about it. Another tip I'm gonna give is writing in general. Like you might perceive that you're giving a certain message, or for you maybe your writing is amazing, but it's not until you give it to someone else that they read it or they read it out loud in front of you, and that they're like, okay, I know what you meant, but this would be better. So definitely get someone. It can be like someone you like you are certain they like writing or they like reading, like or they're very like well spoken. Just find anybody that's like that and like present it to them and like what do they think, and and hopefully they're honest and hopefully they know how to critique you, and that's what I did. I looked for somebody like that would. I did like for Nickelodeon. I did like 10 cover letters. And sometimes it would like I would give it to my friend. It's like, wow, you sound very cocky. Like this is not you at all. And like, oh shit, okay, I did that's not what I wanted to express. So so then I would like redo it. I would all from the start. Like I would redo it and then like come from it from another perspective. Sometimes I would just put facts, like facts about myself, and sometimes you gotta be careful with that because if I just tell you like, oh, I traveled to this place and then I was born in this city and I like driving and you just give like data, like you lose soul. You're just giving like data. So what I like to do is like take all those data and tell it in story form, like and like everything that I'm putting in is for a reason that describes my personality, and and once I get that, like my friend would tell me like, yeah, you did it. Like you have expressed everything that you wanted to express. You're ready to submit. Um, and that's how I approach it personally. And I have to give a warning. I am aware that doing this for doing this for every company that you're gonna apply is very exhausting. I would focus on this on very big companies. I would like to clarify that, like, well, maybe not big companies, but definitely, definitely the Niggers program because they're looking for underrepresented people, and your story has like Nickelodeon. The way he has set people is very story driven. Like if you pass like the first test, which is the demo reel, every question you're gonna receive in the interview is related to story. Everyone, like everything is related to story. They're very focused on story. So because they're focused on story, they do read your cover letters, your bio, because it's very important for them. So let's say that I know that data. Would you put effort into your cover letter for the Nick Rice program? I hope you say yes. But if maybe like you see like Disney or like any other company, and maybe you've heard, oh my god, like it doesn't feel like they read cover letters, then I think you can do a template like a template cover letter where you can take that template and submit it to a lot of companies, and it's charming. It describes you. The only thing you have to switch is like the company name and whatnot, and apply to 100 of them. because
Yeah.
the more you apply to companies, the the more chances you have that you'll get a job soon, or of course if you have like everything else good. Um, but yeah, just nitpicking on like cover letters, I would say that Nick program is very important because of my past experience. It's very important how you describe yourself, and be short, don't be long. Like be concise, and that's more or less that's it, like a summary of it.
Do you think it's better, or like I guess specifically to like the Nick artist program, do you think it's better to just like, tell your story and talk about yourself, or should I mention like a few, I guess, like job related things, like past positions, or like do you think that like that's not necessary?
Mm, I would say okay. I would say it depends like how you do it. Like if it contributes to your personality and like your journey, then yes. If you, for example, do a cover letter and at the end you just put data like I work in this, and work in this, and you didn't like execute it in an interesting way, then I was
Like
saying no.
implement.
But it all depends how you execute it. Like I've done it. I've done cover letters where I put where I've worked and just made it part of the story. So it just depends. You can do it. I don't have a yes or no question answer. Sorry, I don't have a yes or no answer.
I guess
And
yeah, it depends
yeah,
on how you like apply it, like apply it
exactly,
to the cover letter. Okay, okay, that's good because like so
exactly.
far I feel like that's how I've done it. Like in the cover letter, of course, I tell a little bit about me, but I feel like now that you're saying all this, it's like a little about me, and then like all this like bunch of like data, like oh I've done this, I've done that, and like that's why I would be best for this position or whatever. But yeah, I guess that's not like at all personal. So that is like really really good to hear that, or that I need to work on. So okay, that's awesome. That's like okay, that's awesome. Okay, so my next question, I guess it's like the next stage in like the hiring process. And it's like the thing that I'm probably like the most scared about, which is like the interviews. So
Right.
like I've had my share of interviews, and it's just so scary, like super, oh my god, I get super scared all the time. So like I don't know, like what are some of the things that you think are like don'ts that you should do or that I should do when it comes to interviews? Like, I don't know, like what do you think? Do you have any advice on that?
Right. Don't have expectations.
Ooh.
That's how I approach it. To calm my my nerves. I don't have any expectation. Like if it goes, good, and it doesn't, like good. The problem is that when you have expectations, you imagine how the interview will be, and you put like unnecessary scenarios where you put yourself tense and you go there, and you don't see the questions or what's happening at the moment clearly. So what I do is like I have no expectations. Maybe I just lower them. Like I guess I go like, yeah, maybe nothing's gonna happen. And that calms me, and lets me be myself, and lets me like highlight the best parts of myself without like I want to show you myself. Like no, I'm good, and you obviously this is an interview. You have questions, and I will just answer them. So don't have expectations. What else? Um,
Do you still prepare for interviews? Like do you prepare like I don't know, like do you do some kind of thing before an interview?
no, other than well, I have a lot of like speaking to new people experience.
Mhm.
So I'm very good at improvising. So I know that a lot of people this will not work, like not getting prepared. but definitely review like maybe either you can do two things or review like your nervous system, like basically um like oh like lower your expectations, like I just have to be myself, just answer that questions. You can review like what makes you like uh calm yourself down, or you can just review like highlights of interesting things that you find. Like I remember like remembering like things about leadership, or like things that I admire from like a company. And like whenever the interview would start, is like they would ask me questions about story, like I said, and sometimes they would ask me about like company culture and stuff. And because I'm very interested in that subject, then I just easily like easily describe a highlight that I've been thinking about lately. I actually do depend a lot on thoughts that I've been having lately. So if I want to show how authentic I am, like I'll be like, oh yeah, like the other day and this happened a lot in my interview, and like the people who interviewed can give testimony to this. Like like I would always go back to a conversation that I had a week ago that like they reminded me because of their question. Like maybe we were talking about like budget, or we were talking about like how do you I remember one of the questions like how do you approach um, like design, for example. Like, and I was talking like, oh yeah, like my friend and I, like we always debate like should you do like should you like straight on ahead in a 3D in a 3D software, or should you like sketch it out and then like give it flash, or should you focus on the story or whatever. So I would describe like what I had in that discussion, and what I thought and what I actually do. So I would story tell like I would always story tell the question. Like they would like ask me something. I would give my like what I thought, and maybe like just tell them like like it's fascinating because, and then give like what I thought about it. So I don't know. That's how I work. I don't know if this advice works for anybody, but it definitely shows that there's depth to you, there's depth to your personality, there's depth in hanging out with you. It's not like you're making up an answer for them to please them. So that's how I approach things.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, okay. So the other question I had was I know that like networking, I literally hear networking all the time, like network, and like now I know that it's definitely essential. Um, so and like it is something definitely that I was super scared about before, and like now I've gotten like so much better at, but I know that I can get even better at it. But like what are I don't know, like how do you keep connected with people without being super annoying? Like let's say that you already like talked to
Right.
someone and like, hey, like I'm Paulina and I do this and that and blah blah, blah, and like they responded and we talked a bit. How do you keep connected with that person without being like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like I just
Yes, yes, I
like
know exactly what you mean.
my fear. Like I don't want to just be like super like on people, but I love to have like I guess like that. I mean, I don't know if friendship is the word, but like I do want to have like that connection. Like just cool, normal with you. I don't know, like.
Yeah, no, I totally get the question. I totally understand the question, and it's very important to talk about this. Here's how I approach it. First of all, the Nickers program has shown me so much about networking. Most of the things I'm gonna say, I either learned them from them, or because of them. Like maybe they put me in a scenario where I had to network. The Nickers program loves to do this. They love to expose you to like new crew members that maybe you have never met unless like you had those connections. So I would meet like the president of Nickelodeon or like the directors of something of some show or the writers of some show. Like I would never like get in a meeting with them, and the Nick Arts program does that. Like they expose you to that, and they train you how to after the conversation, how to approach them, like you say, how to approach them again and like keep that connection. So one of the things that I've learned is like I said in the interview, like don't have expectations. So what does this mean in networking? So you reach out, right? And there's no guarantee that people will react the same, first of all, and there's no guarantee that they will actually respond. So for your own self, like conscious, like don't have expectations, expect that they're not gonna answer. And if they answer, you're like, oh my god, like they answered and they're nice, like that's cool, like
Me.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So that's what I do. Right now I always reach out to people in LinkedIn that are in the industry, and you might say, "Oh my God, this person is from DreamWorks, or this person is whatever," and maybe maybe I could say like, "Oh, because I'm in Nickelodeon, like they'll respond to me like nicely, or they'll be interested in knowing me." And like not necessarily. Like I message people a lot, and I still don't get response back. I just get seen or whatever. And because I had no expectation, like it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't discourage me on networking. Like I literally had no expectations. So that's the first thing. The second thing is like when you reach out to people, don't make it about you, or that you want like or your interest. Like make it 100% about them, and that's something that I really learned on the Nick Artist program, because like we always had to email like the people that we network with. We had to email them back, saying like thank you, and they will tell us like, okay, Sam, so you're not gonna tell anything about yourself. You're just gonna like thank them for their time. You're gonna thank them, and then you're gonna thank them for their time, and you're gonna comment on something that was related to the conversation, or related to how you met them, or related to what you heard about them. I don't know. And you will say, well, Sam, how does this have to do anything like with me networking in LinkedIn or whatnot? So let's say that I add someone in LinkedIn because I saw an amazing lighting or amazing modeling work, and I would really like to connect with that person because that person is talented, and like I would love to like have conversations with that person. Um, so instead of going, hi, I would like to connect, let's talk and whatever, um, like you can say like, hi, thank you for adding me, because I always say that, like, thank you for adding me. uh, they could have not added me, so like I thank you for adding me, like, and the reason I'm reaching out, or like I was very impressed by this model work. Like I'm so glad you shared. I'm so glad you shared this in your LinkedIn. Or you see how I framed that sentence just on them. So so I just frame it on them, and I tell them like I would love to see more, or um, I can't wait for your next post. So now I'm encouraging them that I'm watching them, and I am watching them, and I would love to see more. I'm being honest, but but basically I just became their fan, and with and they had like no effort. It's like, I'm your fan, and I would love to like know you. So so once yeah, that's how I approach it. And once like I'm done like doing that, uh, depends on who it is. Sometimes I'll go like, I would love to see you around. That's how I finish my end. Or I would love to like have a 20-minute chat with you if you're interested. That's if I feel confident that day, like, or there's like some similarity, like maybe if we both work in Nickelodeon or something.
Yeah.
But at the end, sometimes I like wrap around the idea like, uh, I would love to share some time with you someday, or hmm, so, or just leave it as in like just focus on them and see the response. If there's no response, don't look for that person. Like don't ask again. That was their best. That was their best answer. Like they probably have like they're not focused on meeting people, and that's good. That's good. Like you have no expectations. They didn't respond. You cannot obligate no one to have a conversation with you. But if they were very reactive, which happens to me also, like they're very reactive and whatnot, you can then throw like, "Hey, would you have? Would you? I would love to." No, this is how I like to frame it lately, and I love it. Like, uh, I would love to have a 20-minute virtual coffee, uh, or some, yeah, like a virtual coffee, or or sometimes I frame it like this. I go like, would you would you be interested in a 20-minute virtual coffee? And that's how I end it. And if they say yes, well, now I just have to schedule like when can we meet, and that's fun. I've done that a lot of times, and I've never had a failure after they've been reactive and I invite them for a virtual coffee. Maybe they go like, the only failure I've had is like, oh, I'm very busy, but I guess I would love to meet someday. And sometimes they respond back in a month later, like, oh my god, like can we have that 20-minute virtual coffee? And I go like, sure. So that's how I approach networking and reconnecting with them. The last thing I'm gonna say about this subject is like sometimes you've messaged them, they're being reactive. You didn't like schedule anything with them. There was no like follow up, and maybe you do want to follow up like in a month times, in a month later or something. That a good phrase that you can use for that is, "Hey, I just wanted to check in on you." Check in. That word like check in is very. It summarizes like you're interested. Like I'm just interested in like what you're up to, or or something. Like that's how I try to reconnect sometimes. Like you go like, hey, I'm just checking in. Like, I remember like I still today I thought about your post about lighting, and I love to have a chat or something. I don't know. It all depends on the situation. I'm just giving you examples. I know that I'm not being very accurate, but about a formula because there isn't a formula. But that's how I approach things. I focus. Let's review. I focus on them and have no expectations. That's how I network with people.
Okay. That is good when it comes to artists, but like what I'm thinking right now, it's like, let's say you are reaching out to a recruiter. Like, how do you make it about them, or should you change the equation? Or
Mm,
I know there's no equation, but like, how would you actually start a conversation with a recruiter without being,
right.
you know?
Well, yeah, that is interesting. I've never thought about it, but I have an answer for that. Um, recruiters, you reaching out to recruiters, you're just making their life easier. Um,
Okay.
so there's no shame to be that right. It's like, hey, like I'm interested in working, and I'd love to show you my work. Here it is, and you don't have to be like you don't have to like do the circles. Basically, you don't have to circle around them for you to do that because that is their job. Their job is to find talent. So on that situation, I will do the opposite. I go like full hard. Don't be polite. Just go like, just go like, this is my work. I'm a very enthusiastic person. This is who I am. And they'll be like, he reached out. And like the problem. I've talked to recruiters. I've talked to other recruiters at Nick, and like how they express themselves. Like, what do they wish like people would do, and they wish that more people would ask and more people would reach out. But normally, like people who are talented, yeah, that's what they tell me. And like people who who have the talent normally they don't reach out. Like they have imposter syndrome. They go like, oh my god, I'm not enough. And normally the people that like they believe too much on themselves. They have like a great ego. They reach out and maybe their work is not like as good. So definitely, I would encourage people that have, if you think, oh my God, um, like I don't know what that person's gonna think about me. No, they're in that position where they're like, please be aggressive, please show me your work. Like I need to like I have a boss. That we have goals. We need talent, and that like if we can go faster, like you can make my life faster, then please reach out to me, please send me your work. I love to
Oh my
like
god.
have
Okay.
have all that data. Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, that's encouraging now because like for me, I'm just so scared because like whenever I find like a recruiter, like I because that's the first struggle for me, like because I know I don't know like in conferences online or webinars or things like that, I attend like these like recruiters sessions and like
Mm-hmm.
okay, amazing, like I know the name of the recruiter from this specific place, but like how do I find them? That's the first thing for me. And then second of all, like okay, I finally found them like on LinkedIn or whatever, and they have like millions connections, like and like I'm guessing they get like so many messages, so like for me it's kind of like I don't know, like should I even like do it? She's probably not even gonna respond, like like I don't know, like for me it's like those things kind of like oh I mean you know like should
Yeah,
I
yeah. No, I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah, it's that perspective. Like, I'm one in a million. Why would I even bother? Um, but I'm gonna tell you a true story. It happened this week. So my
okay,
friend,
story
yeah,
time, okay.
story time. A friend of mine who wants to like get in Nick um, asked me, "Hey, like, do you know the recruiters?" And I go like, "Yes, I know them." And then and then like, do you
Like
think I should
yes.
message? And do you think I should message them? And I'm like, yes. And like, can you give me their names? And I gave that person like all the names, and she did that. She just went like direct, like, oh, this is my work. This da da da, and contact me, whatever. And one of the recruiters asked my friend, "Whoa, can I share your work to the other recruiters?" And the person was like, "Yes." And that's all I know until the story. That's the end of the story. Like, that's how what I've heard
I was
about the
like
story so
waiting for
far.
like
But see how she would have missed out if she didn't reach out. Like, right now, we don't know was that gonna happen,
yeah.
but because she reached out through LinkedIn, messaged her, give her work. She, like, as a recruiter, she liked like the work. She might be putting her work as a priority because she personally likes it and sees talent there. So now, instead of being on the bottom of the line, she's on top of the line, and just
Okay.
because she asked. So yeah, even though the story is very short, like, you can learn a lot from that. It gives you perspective. Like, oh, I would have thought like that would never work, but
Yeah.
my friend did it, and at least we're having like one result. So
I'm not even gonna care anymore. I'm gonna be like send.
no intro, no names, just like copy paste. Yeah,
I mean,
definitely do
it'll
it.
probably be different, but I'll definitely do that now because also a lot of them on LinkedIn, like you cannot message them until you get connected with them, and but like
Right.
up until now I'm like pending. So like how else can I reach them? That is like my
Mm.
struggle. Like how else can you reach them because their email is not hanging around everywhere. So like what else can you do? Should you just like move on or like what should you do?
Yeah, I repeat, don't have expectations. Like, you did your work. Like, don't have expectations. They have the right. They have the right to not receive your work. They have the right to have their privacy if that's what their mentality is. I'm just saying the mentality that you should have to always like lean forward into trying and asking, that you do your part. But of course, as you said, and this is very important about networking. Like there are people, there are recruiters in LinkedIn that they don't want to know about like anyone that just wants to message you. So maybe they just work in a way that the only way of showing your work is through this process. And like not everyone's the same. They have their own way of working. But if they are if their LinkedIn is open and you can actually message them, like you should do your part, which is send it to them. If you don't do your part, you'll never know. And yeah, that goes with everything. I wasn't gonna apply to Nickelodeon. Like I was not gonna apply to Nickelodeon. It was
What?
because a friend of mine. I
Oh,
didn't think I was good. Yeah, I didn't think I was good enough. Like I thought like I wasn't ready. And imposter syndrome basically. Like you always feel like you're not good enough. You always have to strive for more. And because it wasn't until like a friend of mine obligated me that I actually applied. So thank you, thank you to that person, Roylis.
aw. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. Okay, that is super, super encouraging now. Or like I feel more encouraged to like do that specifically.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Those were all the questions that I had, at least in that department. I'm probably gonna have like
Ooh.
other teeny tiny questions on like portfolio.
Okay.
Do you want me to show it now, or okay, or what do you think?
Yes, I'll narrate what I'm seeing and from your reel. So at the begin, first of all, you're giving to recruiters. You're giving like variety, which is good. Like you have uh, like organic soft bodies model like frog whatever like that's what I mean. You're having like hard surface like objects like the book you said, and also characters like the skeleton lady. You're also having a very stylized cartoon, like not cartoon, like line of action driven characters. Like you can see
Oh,
the line of
okay.
action of that, yeah, of that character, and
Uh-huh.
that's very cool because like if I was recruiting, I was like, oh my god, like if I give her something that I'm thinking that goes with line of action that really expresses a lot of things, she can work around the technical things
Okay.
um, that that we need on production. So that's really good. Um, that also another thing I'm saying like characters is what at the beginning you're telling me characters is what I do,
Mm-hmm.
and also I'm very associated with other things that involves modeling, like you presented the book, you presented the environment. So those are very and the thing is like all of your demo reel is very solid. Like all of your work is very high quality work.
Okay.
Like sometimes when I see work, you can have like one solid project and the rest, like compared to the first one, they lack.
Mm-hmm.
So something that's really good about your demo reel is that they all look solid, high quality uh, work, and you're also being minimalistic. Like uh, 1 minute, I think 1 minute demo reel. You're not exaggerating in quantity. You're giving quality. So
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think for me it's perfect. What I would expect
You
from a
sure?
demo reel. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you think the
No.
order
Definitely.
Do you think the order of like every project to throughout the reel is fine? Cause like I know like this first project that I have in here, it's my favorite one, and I'm gonna leave it there. But do you think like the rest of the projects are good when it comes to like order? Cause I know that like sometimes people, or at least I've heard that they don't even finish the whole reel. So like, do you think that the way
Yeah.
that I set up the order of it is fine, or what do you think?
So my question to that, I would like to ask you like, what are you applying for? Are you applying for character like modeling, right?
Yeah, okay, so that was one of the things that I also wanted to ask you about because I know in the Nick Artist program application, like there's like the CG track, but within the CG track,
Right.
there's, like all the other positions. And of course, I'm going towards modeling, but here's my question. So, like, I want to, I guess, apply towards the modeling, but do you think it's okay to like show these projects that like have textures on it, or do you think I should just like, I guess, like focus it only on modeling? Like, or I don't know, like, is it okay to like have textures even though I am applying towards the modeling, 3D modeling track?
Yes, I think it's perfect because from a production perspective, it means that your work, even though it looks great in model and good with topology,
Mm-hmm.
it you're showing that it works for textures,
Okay.
and that is a validation that you've done the work right. Like if the end product looks right, that must mean that you're modeling. Not only we can revise like your topology and say like it's very organized, it's very optimized. She's doing a great job, but also she's showing the final product, which means like she has done a good job. So I would definitely leave the textures,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that I can see like that your work has results. So yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, definitely you can apply for modeling, and have a demo reel that has textures. I know that when I so obviously I went through this process, the Naked Artist program process, where I have to basically you have to compete with other people,
Yeah.
and to get that position. And I remember like I saw like the modelers work, and the other lighters work. The models work. They had something very similar to what you're showing me, which is a little bit of everything, like stylized, or like a very like the book can tell me that you can also do like realism or something close to realism. So I remember like the finalist people, the finalists on on the interview section, the people that were selected, like they had a variety just like you're expressing right now with your demo reel. So
Okay.
so yeah, everything looks right to me, and I think it's very important to notice that I guess I'm repeating myself when I say like don't have expectations, because every company yeah every company has their own standard of value. I'm going to tell you an example. I applied to the Nick Artist program. I also applied for the Disney trainee program,
Mm-hmm.
both at the same time.
Okay.
I both gave them the same work and a very good cover letter and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Nickelodeon said yes, and Disney said no. Like not even for an interview or anything. What does that tell you about like your work? Well, you can have the same work and someone tell you, okay, you're at the standard, and you can show that same work to another company, and you're like, nope, like that's not what we're looking for. So once your demo reel is solid, uh, with the feedback that I'm telling you, you're showing versatility. Like you can work well from beginning to the end until we see the textures. Like we can see like we can say you have production experience. Then that's what matters. And then everything else, you can think about it in two ways. Or you like research how they want a demo reel specifically, or you just stick to like something that's real well rounded, and see like who values your work the most. And in that case, that's what I did. Like I just did one work and sent it to Disney and to Nickelodeon, and the one who valued it the most was Nickelodeon. So and now I have a job. So
Okay.
your choice, your choice. That's what I did. I'm just expressing like what I did,
Yeah.
and how I think about things. So
Okay. So you do think that it's better to leave it like the way that it is right now, like kind of like a little bit of everything? Because I know that um, like a lot of like studios right now, they kind of, at least in the modeling department, they divide it between like environments and characters. So like if that's the case, I don't know, do you think I should like focus it a little bit more on what I want to do between the two, like environments or characters, or should I, like for this application specifically, should I leave it like this, like a little bit of everything to showcase that I can do both?
for this application
Yeah.
specifically,
Mm-hmm.
leave it like that.
Okay.
Leave it like that because it is a CG generalist track.
Okay.
So yes, and I know how they think, like the people at Nickelodeon, and whenever they see reels and whenever they see portfolios, they want to see what you're good at, and at the end, they also want to see like what else can you do, and that's what you're showing right now. Like I can do, I do characters, but I also understand like like environments. I also understand that, so that's why I think it's solid because all of your demo reel is talking. The message is talking to me is that like I do this. I have experience. I'm good at like all these terms, all these artistic terms, line of action and stuff like proportions. Also the technical stuff like topology. I can also like deliver you like for the textures, and also like I've been in these experiences even though like I'm not gonna do this job, which is like environment or something, but I'm also uh, able to do that. So I think for this application, it's perfect.
Okay. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
like literally today I was like finishing some things on the environment and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put it the way it is right now. But like that, like I'm happy. Like thank you so much. Like I really worked hard on like every single one and I
I
mean of
know.
course
I
I
know.
still yeah, like I still have a lot to learn, but like I really worked hard on all of these projects and I'm really happy how they turned out. Um so okay, I guess like yeah, like hopefully it works out. Hopefully people like it. So
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. 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 No. Once again, no expectations. No expectations.
yeah. What
Yeah.
happened?
You do your best work. That's you
Yeah.
do your best work. Like you do your best work, and if you follow my advice of not having expectations, you will get to the final round, and yet have an interview where you have no expectations, and maybe something happens. So yeah, you'll do great. I know you'll do great. So, and for those in the audiences that are seeing us, something something that she did really good was that she always showed her rate apology. That's very important because it, 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 it is very okay. First of all, it's very important that you know that skill of rate apology, and it expresses to you that you're aware of the work that has to be done, and that you have, you're ready for production. So one thing is to model something nice in ZBrush, in Maya, and have it done and like looks good for illustration. But the work that you're applying for is not for illustration; it's for production. What that means is like this character or this asset is gonna be taken by another person. It's gonna do work on top of your work. So if you can express that, hey, like I can do the work, have the asset ready for other people to work on it, then yes, it puts you in another level where you're like, okay, we understand that you know how to do that, and you're awesome.
Okay. That's good. That's awesome. I do need to add the topology, I guess, pose or like the neutral pose of the third character, the one with the heavy object. I need
Mm-hmm.
to do that too because like I was advised to not to not put in the demo reel the character in a T pose like a normal pose to like have it some kind of like subtle like emotion or something. So I need to work on that right
Mm-hmm.
now because I have the T pose, like the normal T pose of the character, but like I do want to do something like neutral, but like different, without having the T or the A post. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm,
gonna add
I
that
see.
like for that character specifically.
Interesting. I've never thought about that advice, and my first reaction would be, "That's a good advice, um, and you should follow it." Because the
Yeah.
demo reels that I've seen that get like really high uh, in the interview process, they have characters that they're not in T pose. Have I seen one? Like no, like they yeah. So I think that's a good advice.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do
And
like
any modeler in the industry that wants to comment on that and and tell me like what you think, yeah, comment in the section below. Like, what do you think about this?
yes, yes. If you need me to get better at something, or if you have some advice, like please, 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 I would love to know. Um,
Yes, expose yourself more. We need to see you. You're ready to get an opportunity. Like you are. Like this is not me being positive. This is me being like real. Like you are. Like sometimes you can sometimes you can be ready and not expose yourself. In this case, I'm the best example. I was not gonna apply for Nickelodeon, and because somebody pushed me, encouraged me, I'm here, and that's why I'm giving back because I feel very blessed, and I think you're at the level that you should spread your work, and you will definitely find something. Uh, no doubt about it. So you're good.
okay.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well, I think. Do you have any last question?
Oh my god, I cannot think of anything. But can I
If
like
you don't have a say
but
what?
oh, I was gonna say like, but if I do come up with like something, or like if I just want to like chat or anything, like it's okay if I just reach out.
Paulina, you can reach out to me whenever, and you must reach out to me. All right? You have an obligation. You have an obligation with me to keep me updated. And anytime, I tell you, anytime you message me with any advice, I'm gonna answer you. So yes, definitely, you can count on that. And I'm encouraging like a lot of people to do that. Like right now, I'm seeing like a lot of portfolios because like that's the best thing I can do. Like if I can share any knowledge to people and see like, okay, this is where you're missing, what not, like that's the best that I can do. I'm in that position where like I really want to like just share what I know and what can help other people, and you're one of them. So by all means, please message me. Okay.
Thank you. Ooh, I did come up with a question. So,
Okay.
I'm already working on another project, but I'm thinking on the next project that I work on, like, what do you think would be something different and unique that would stand out? What do you think? What kind of project do you think would be like very very cool and like unique that I should think about?
Maybe not for demo reel, but definitely for personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of your comfort zone in terms of like right now you have very stylized, very geometric um, work, and sometimes when you go to the opposite side, you learn a lot of things. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm learning about realism, and
Okay.
I see how even though I'm never gonna show this work to anybody, I'm getting involved right now in realism work, and I see how it helps me stylize. So
Okay.
make one simple project, and when I say simple, like simple because like maybe we always have to start with small steps. So get a simple project where you feel like, okay, I'm gonna aim for something realistic and see what I can learn, and that's what I would suggest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like that is something not that I have thought about, but like I always see, like I follow this specific person that he does a lot of like realism like characters, but like extremely realistic. Like he just did like a
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Depp like portrait, and I'm like, oh my god, like how? But like it's something that is just super cool and amazing, and of course I would want to do, but since like right now I don't have like I don't work like in a studio or anything like that. I've really tried to like target it to like where I want to work, but but yeah, like no, for sure it is like something that I will definitely get into because like I would love to like get better in that sense in a more like realistic way, especially with characters. So okay, yeah, that is like something like super cool. Okay, yeah, yeah, I'll definitely start on that or like on ideas on what I can do ASAP. So yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Alrighty then. So to wrap up this episode, can you please share us your where can we contact you for work? Where can we contact you at all? Like, please tell us.
Okay, so you can find me or you can connect or oh my god, why am I going around? Yeah, you can like find me on Instagram. I have an Instagram account. I'm a little bit more active there. It's Metsy's art. You can find it like that. Like Sam can put it in there so you guys know like how to find it. My
Uh-huh.
email, my email is Paulina Treviño G at gmail.com, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. I think it's also Paulina Treviño G. So yeah, that is yeah. And my website, Paulina TV. Oh my God, paulinatg.com. Yes. That's how you can find me. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paulina, for your time. Thank you for being here in this conversation. Um, for all the people in the audience, if you like to see more of this type of conversations, please comment below, share it to your friends, and tell me in the comments, please, more content. And
Yes.
I'll definitely aim for that. So thank you so much for everyone watching, and I'll be seeing you the next time.